Hey guys, so today is day number 2 of our marketing plan. So yesterday we started talking about creative and innovative ideas in agriculture and how we can take those ideas in agriculture and change things, or just offer consumers something that is really cool. And I challenged you to make that and then do a SWOT analysis on it, basically kind of telling me what would be good about that product that you came up with. Okay. Now, today we're going to talk about actually selling that product to people. And so today we're going to focus all about marketing, really today and tomorrow. And so, how we can market that product to other people. And so, you're going to create an actual marketing plan. We're going to start with the first half of it today and the second half of it tomorrow, coming up with things like logos and what businesses would you sell it at, and how would you entice people to do that. And so marketing is all about the perception of what we put in people's minds. Okay. If you think about so many of the slogans today, if I say, ba da ba ba ba, right, you're going to say, I'm loving it. Okay. Those slogans, if I say, what is the slogan for the motto for Nike, then we all know what it is. What is it? Yeah, it's just do it. Okay. All of those marketing logos are ingrained in our minds. And we're going to talk about this. A lot of you guys are snobs to a certain type of brand of something. You're like, this brand is superior to everything else, okay? And I don't want the off brand. I don't want Mr. Pibb. I want Dr. Pepper, okay? And so I want to begin by showing you some marketing done wrong, because marketing is all about awareness and connecting with everything that is going on. So check these out for a little laughs and getting started. Okay, so I wanted to show you a couple of editorials of things just not done right in magazines, newspapers, talking about how sometimes we can send the wrong message. So if you look at this one right here from the Brampton Guardian, we can see that they kind of put the headline for the article to the right, but they put a picture of the article below it, and it kind of connects the two. So when you see violent crime duo caught on video, well, what do you see? Well, our first mind is that Winnie the Pooh and the whatever that abominable snowman creature is are out doing violent crime. Okay. What about this one? Right? Probably not a good idea to put that ad about a dream holiday right below all those people dying in that cruise ship crash. Okay. We can just see that is not, and even down to the man's face screaming in the bottom right corner. I think we can agree that's probably not an appropriate layout for marketing. Okay, what about this one? This right here is a crack between two pages in a magazine. And so we have someone sitting on the right, and we have some delicious post workout chocolate milk drink on the left. But man, I wish they had not put those in that order, because it definitely makes it where you do not want to buy that product. Okay. Sorry. This one makes me laugh every time. Okay. I'm guessing you can probably see what's wrong with this one. Okay. So someone's killing a bunch of cats on the left, and some dude is cooking out for an event on the right. But our minds lump those two things together. Okay. What about this one? Okay. I know maybe not the most appropriate timing. I've been using these pictures for years, and I know the Queen just passed on this semester. What does this say? Well, it kind of implies that we've got some witchcraft issue, and we're maybe putting those pictures right there, or this one right here as well. Okay. Once again, the picture is not associated with the words, but because they're right by each other, that is really bad marketing. Okay. Yeah. This one's maybe the most appropriate of all of them, but it's kind of funny as well. Okay. We talk about billboards. I know I've already shown you guys this one as well. We talk about marketing, how we show ourselves. Okay. We've talked about organizations like PETA and how they might tag agriculture, or they might tag people who support agriculture. But marketing can go both ways. How did our governor respond to this a year ago? Well, he actually cooked out in front of it. So he decided to embrace that narrative. Whether that's right or wrong, that's how he chose to market himself, right? We talked about this one, right? PETA putting up this billboard in a New England area that is known for, crab, what do we call it, fishing, or what do you call it, catching crabs. And so what did an organization put behind it? Well, this one right here. And so you can see all these advertisements are designed to grab the public's attention. So I want to talk about some marketing, and I know Thursday may not be the applicable day for today, but I kind of want to go through the art and science of marketing. I want you to think about this. And so, question, and I want you to think, and I'm going to give you a second to think about this. What are the top leading food items on teens your age that they spend their money on? So take a second, think about those top leading food items that teens spend their money on. Okay, and we've had some research done, and these are actually the answers. People your age, they spend most of their money on candy, soft drinks, and small salty snacks or chips. And some of you are probably sitting there thinking, well, I don't have any money. Well, you don't, but how many of you guys have went on trips, got out and went to a gas station, a convenience store, something like that? We're on our Indy trip right now, and every time we stop at a gas station, right, the kids file off and spend tons of money collectively, okay? And so this is food marketing that we're going to talk about today. So I'm just using marketing in the context of food marketing, but I mean, this could apply to everything. So this is the activity or process that gives information about the food that is important to the consumer. And this is, I want several things to think about this. We are getting information out about our products, whatever product you came up with yesterday. We're giving information out about that. But we're also picking the right consumer. Okay, they're not going to come after me for a protein shake or a pre-workout, because that would imply that I work out, and I don't. And so we have to find the right consumer that goes with that. Okay, so kids age 2 to 14, I know many of you guys are 14 years old, spend about $500 billion each year on food. Teenagers alone spend $140 billion, and so you guys are a major influencer in buying food. And so we have a lot of companies that market and come after you to get your business. Okay. And you're going to see that if you think about it, when is the last time you've seen a commercial for some healthy food? Okay. Right. Normally we see it for things that are not so healthy. Okay. The food industry spends $1.6 billion each year to market to teens. And so that's a lot of money. You guys on average see about 15 food commercials a day, whether that's ads scrolling on Instagram or watching traditional TV, or going by a billboard. You guys see advertisements for about 15 food products a year, which comes out to 5,500. And most of those are those things in the bottom right corner, right? So breakfast cereals, fast foods, soft drinks, candy, and salty snacks. Interestingly enough, where we see 15 food commercials a day, 5,500 commercials a year, we see less than 100 commercials a year for healthy foods, right? So we don't see so many like drink water, eat vegetables, right? We don't see that. In fact, this study over here talked about kids television like PBS or Cartoon Network or something like that, that you would need to watch about 10 hours of kids TV to see one advertisement for a healthy product, okay? Food companies are the second largest advertiser in the United States, second only to the automobile industry. Okay, so yeah, they're obviously very, very big. Okay. Um, One interesting thing about this you got to think about with your product is it a product that we're trying to get repeat business or repeat customers? Okay, maybe you're building something like a special feeder that will refill itself to a certain amount, that is weighed to a certain amount. I think that's one that we talked about yesterday. Right? Is that going to be repeat? Well, it's not going to be very common that people are going to need to buy that again. But as they buy more animals, they might need to buy more of those, right? But we talk about food. Obviously, we drink a soda. I'm probably going to drink a soda tomorrow. We're going to drink one the day after that. And so they're trying to get you to continue to come back, okay? Whereas if we think about, let's say, a car, right? We're going to buy one of those, and then hopefully we're not coming back and buying one again for a very long time, okay? I want you to think about branding, because branding is going to be part of your assignment today. How do you brand your product? Do you use a catchy name, a logo, anything like that? Because that does influence what we want. And so if you look at this, kids prefer branded food over those that are not. And so they did a study with 3 to 5-year-old kids. They gave them the same French fries, but some of them were in McDonald's packaging and others weren't packaging, that did not have a logo, did not have a brand. They were just French fries. And you'll notice that 76% likes the McDonald's fries better, even though they were the same product. Why? Because they were in that package. Okay. So That's an example of how branding can be just so strong and important. Okay. And so it does all these things right here. It builds brand awareness, it builds recognition, right? We begin to recognize that brand. We all recognize if I talk about things like Doritos or Lululemons, right? Or Ford, right? We recognize those brands, those names, an image pops in our mind. We recognize them. Then we move towards brand preference. Well, now if I have a choice between Doritos and the Great Value brand, I'm going to pick those. And then eventually we get to this blind loyalty, brand loyalty, right? Where all of a sudden we go somewhere and the waiter says, "Do you want Mr. Pibb?" And we throw a fit and flip a table, right? Because now it's not just that we recognize Dr. Pepper, it's not just that we prefer Dr. Pepper, but we are loyal to Dr. Pepper, okay? And we build that loyalty to a certain product, okay? And there's lots of different, we see lots of different things here, but these are some of the big ones we see: belonging, self identity, appearance, sexuality, all of this type of stuff. These are messages that they use to market to teenagers. And we see that about 80% of grocery products are branded, okay? Things like this, right? M&M had official spokes candies, and they actually voted to see which chocolate tastes better, and fans voted on it. They're all the same with food coloring, right? But if I ask you which one is your favorite M&M, you might actually have a favorite M&M. Okay, so that food branding is important. Okay, sometimes we make our food interactive, and so we dunk it in milk, we twist it, right? We break it apart and eat the cream in the middle first. Okay, we have slogans. Campbell's soup, good. I remember as a kid, there's the like snowman that comes in and eats it and ends up being a kid that's like covered in snow and it melts away. And they're like, this is good. And so you recognize those, right? Um, there's some of these, right? When I was a kid, Subway was $5 for a foot long. I got them the other day, they're like $8 or $9. But they would sing this song, $5 foot long, right? And that song would be stuck in your head. Kellogg's. Who's the spokesperson for Kellogg's? You know this, okay? Tony the Tiger, right? And he says, they're great. We recognize, we even had, right? Miss Flo in my first hour, right? Emily dressed up as Miss Flo, right? That was a spokesperson for what insurance company? I should know this. An insurance company, right? So we recognize those faces or those brandings. They're important. Okay. Now you guys are obviously are not gonna. We're not gonna talk about budgeting or spending money or anything like that. But if you look at what they're spending, right? They're spending a lot of money on youth advertisements. Okay. And I'm just gonna to flip to a couple things right here. So you'll see. Um, in 2006, McDonald's spent $2.5 million to advertising in the United States, and 40% of that budget was directed at children. Of course, it was. When I pick up my son and say, "Where do you want to eat?" He wants to go to McDonald's. And then, of course, I get a dinner when I go there as well. And so they pitch their target audience. What you do in your assignment today may have nothing to do with youth. In fact, it may fit with old man Farmer Joe, who's 50 years old. I don't know. Okay. But that's examples. These are the top three ones. Okay. Subway. Subway's slogan is "Eat Fresh." Do we really think Subway is a healthier option? Well, I would argue that it's probably not. But man, it says "Eat Fresh." It's not greasy. It must be healthier for me. Okay. And so we market those to teens. Okay. Um, Gonna kind of fly through some of this stuff right here. So why do they market it to you guys? Just kind of in closing here, they have money to spend on goods and services. They decide, you guys decide what you'll spend your money on, or you have influence on your parents. They go buy that to have make you happy. But then, even if you don't feel like you have much of a voice today, one day you will be future adult consumers. Okay. And so we see some of this right here. Um, I'm going to show you a quick video on Coca-Cola that I think is really, really interesting and fascinating, and kind of shows how Coke went from a company that was not popular their first year to a company that is major brand today. Okay, so that kind of gave you just a quick summary of Coca-Cola and what they do. And what I wanted you to see from that is, they didn't really sell you necessarily on like really good taste. They sold you on an experience. So you saw the whether it was sherry can or have your name on it or associating with the warm, fuzzy feelings of Christmas or whatever, they associated that with a feeling. And so all of that kind of ties in with advertisement. What I'm going to have for you guys to do today is yesterday you created your project. What product, I mean, that you are trying to sell to your audience. Okay. Today, you are going to explain to me how you're going to sell that product to the audience. Okay. So you're going to look at creating a logo. So I want to see this is actually what you'll spend most of the hour on. Let's see your artistic ability. You can go to Canva or make it right there in PowerPoint, but you're going to make me a logo. You're going to tell me what demographic you're trying to reach. For example, if it's a food item, I might be trying to look for certain demographics. Maybe I'm looking for people that are farmers. Okay. And then finally, you're going to tell me kind of where you're advertising it, how are you going to appeal to them? Like, what are the selling points? It tastes good. It leads to a positive experience. It makes life easier on the farm. It solves world hunger. It improves the environment. What is the perks of using your product? Okay. And you should be able to sell me on that. You've got a good half the hour to do this, so you should have plenty of time, but it should take all hours. So get that done and submit that, and then we'll move on to our last marketing lesson tomorrow.